Okay. So I just tried to film this about an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. So let's give it a rerun. I went and got lunch with my friend Jen Hadley, who's been featured on the podcast before. So let's do a little rerun because I got some new thoughts. Okay, first I'd like to start with my Monday. It was a rather wild day. I woke up at about 10:30. My brother did. I had slept about 8 hours, so it felt like the normal time that somebody would wake up, probably about an average amount of time of sleep. But I opted to fall back to sleep. Ended up waking up about 1:32, and just felt like human garbage. Just felt like a dumpster fire. Did not feel great. Was feeling glum, depressed, out of it. Whatever word you want to throw on there. I was feeling it, and I was not feeling good. I was just scrolling on my phone, laying in bed, not doing anything. Eventually, after an hour or so of laying on my phone in bed, I opted to get out of my bed, finally at like 2:45, and shower. What a decision, huh? But after that, I still wasn't feeling all right, and shower typically is a good reset for me, kind of gets me ready for the rest of my day, but it didn't really work as well as I had hoped it to, so I was still feeling out of it, decided let's do some self-care. Clip my nails, clip my toenails, shave my face, got a little freshened up, and that helped a little bit. But as soon as I was done with that, I noticed, oh god, I gotta go right now or else I'm gonna be late for work, because I was working a Pacers game that evening. So in the midst of feeling all bad and everything, I had told myself a few times, like, bro, you're working a Pacers game later today. You're literally gonna get paid to go to an NBA game. I'm basically an NBA player, right? I'm getting paid to go to the game, and they are too, so one is the other, I feel like. If one, then two, that's gotta be true. But anyways, I was upset, but I was still going to work a Pacers game, so in my head as a kid, those things don't really add up. How could I ever be upset if I'm gonna go get paid to be at an NBA game? That's bonkers. And my best friend from high school was going to be at the NBA game as well. My friend Gage Miller, who's also been featured on the podcast. He was going to make an appearance there, and he did. And I was able to sneak him onto the Jumbotron while I was working. So I got that little payoff, and that felt good. And he got videos of me. It was really like the first time that one of my friends was able to see me working. So that was an interesting experience. But even during all this, I was still kind of panicking because, like I said, I was almost late to work, and even as I was running to work, I sent my boss an email saying, "Hey, I'll be there shortly." But I was still rushing to get there, and I sprinted down the stairs of the parking garage. And as I was running down the stairs of the parking garage, my pockets had like stuff in them, so they weren't really that deep. And my phone, at one point, must have popped out of my pocket because I was running down the stairs and I heard a boom, and it sounded like my phone hitting like a metal bar, and that's exactly what it was. And after I heard that, I heard a dong, bong, dong, boom, before it eventually settled after about 4 or 5 little bounces. So after a rough start of the morning, I rushed to get to work late, and as I was doing so, I dropped my phone about 3 stories in a parking garage. Luckily, there's somewhat minimal damage to my phone. It really survived the crash pretty well. The screen protector took most of the damage. I don't think there's any damage to my phone, front or back, actually on my phone. I think it's just all my screen protector, so bless modern technology for that. But it was just a rough start to the day. But I got to see my friend at the Pacers game, so that was cool. He got to see me at a Pacers game, at an NBA game, which I think I still discredit more so than I should because, again, I'm getting paid to go to an NBA game. That's so weird. Anyways, and every person I know, the big thing is, almost every single person I know, if they wanted to go to that Pacers game, would have to pay money to go to it. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, I was working the Pacers game. My mood started to pick up as I was at the Pacers game, although before our first hit of the game, first time using the camera, the camera guy I was working with, he had the headset on, but he went to go use the bathroom. So he told me if he wasn't back, I would go run the camera up to where we were taking it to. And it got to that time where I'd run the camera up, but I didn't know exactly where I was going, and I got lost. I went actually to the wrong floor and just ran in like almost a circle around the stadium, like a few times, trying to find where to go, asking almost every person I saw, where can I go? Where should I go? Do you know where this is? Do you know where that is? Can you help me? Please, please, please. And I was just freaking out, running back and forth. And the funny thing is, they could see the camera the whole time because I had the camera, just no way to communicate. So they saw me just running around, but couldn't really locate me. It was trying to, where's Waldo kind of situation. Eventually, just before I was about to have a full-fledged panic attack, this lady took me under her wing and said, "Hey, come here. It's right here." She pointed me to where I needed to go. It still wasn't where exactly I needed to go, but it allowed me to figure out how to get to where I needed to go. But it was wild. So rough start to the day, but eventually ended up going after the Pacers game to my friend's house to celebrate my other friend's 21st birthday, JJ Snake 21. So that was really good. That was actually exactly what I needed. After my rough morning, after feeling sort of down and out of it, that was exactly what I needed. Time with friends, to have a few bevs, loosen up, crack some jokes, have a good time, and just kind of kick back, not really worry about anything else. And it worked out swimmingly. It was exactly what I wanted, and it panned out beautifully. Thank you to Sarah Ansari for inviting me, because on that day, I very much needed that. But I'd had a few bevs, so I had to sort of chill out towards later in the evening and sort of collect myself, because obviously you can't drive inebriated. That is against the law, and it's just an outright stupid decision. So I waited my time, bought my time, chilled out until I felt finally fully comfortable to leave, and then I left, and I was fully fine. Trust, your boy would never make a dumb decision like that. I was fully fine. I left, but I needed gas. So on my way home, I stopped to get gas on 38th Street, which is a big street here in Indianapolis. And it was 2:30 in the morning. So I was fully aware of my surroundings, just trying to be aware, because you never know what could happen late at night on a busy street like that. There's a lot of possibilities. So I was just feeling it out. Eventually, at one point, this guy rolled across the street on his bike, and he was just, I wasn't sure what he was trying to do, but he was just going to the gas station. Just got some smokes at the window. Some smokes and who knows what else, and then he dipped. Didn't say anything, didn't really pay any mind to me or whatever. He just rolled on about his day. So I was like, cool, fine, I'm just keep pumping my gas. But eventually, at one point, some guy approached the gas station from the other side of the street, and I just saw him out of the corner of my eye. I was like, all right, there's that guy. And I just kept pumping my gas, and I was like, I should probably get out of here, just because I don't need a full tank, but I need to get moving. But eventually, I heard him say something. I was like, just brush it off. But I heard him say, hey, WB. I kind of just brushed it off, like, all right, he's probably talking to himself, whatever. But I was like, WB, what does that mean? Are you a white boy? I don't know. I heard him say, hey, WB again. And I was like, I gave him a glance, but I looked away. I was like, whatever, dude. Are you still talking to me? I don't know. Eventually, the third time he said it, he said, hey, WB. And I was like, it's got to be white boy. He's got to be talking to me. There's nobody else at this gas station. There's nobody else here. So WB has to be me. Who else could it possibly be? Eventually, I said hi to him. We started talking a little bit, and he was telling me, hey, brother, I got off work. I was wondering if you could help me out. I just got off work. I got $1.87 on me. I just got my tea and my food here. I just live right up across the street. I'm an old man. I've been grinding. I just got off work. I was wondering if you could maybe take me just a few blocks up the road. Well, he actually initially asked me if I knew the area, but eventually got to this conversation, and I was like, yeah, It's 2:30 in the morning, mind you, and a random guy approached me asking me if he could get my car. So alarming, to say the least. But I talked to him a little bit, just kind of felt him out. I was like, I don't know, man. He's like, straight up, bro. No games, no nothing. Just straight up. Coming to you man to man, straight up. And I was like, straight up, bro? Like, straight up? Like, for real? Like, straight up? No jokes, no games, nothing, straight up. And he showed me under his jacket and everything. He was like an older dude. He's like 60 something, probably, sort of a scrawnier guy too. So I was like, he seems pretty harmless. And realistically, if he were to attack me, unless he had a gun or a knife, I'm probably going to be all right. I could probably withstand him and probably take care of him pretty easily. So I was like, let's roll the dice here. Life is fun. Let's roll the dice and see what happens. Pick him up. I actually picked that up from a YouTuber I used to watch. He used to pick up homeless guys all the time. Granted, I didn't have backup of a video crew, but anyways, I was like, this feels like the good thing to do. So I picked him up. I drove him just a few blocks, and we sort of just talked about what he's doing, what his journey's been, and what I'm doing. And eventually, I was getting close to dropping him off, and I was like, I have these problems in my life. I have these questions in my own head. I should ask this dude, just some random guy. He's an older guy. He's probably got some wisdom. Ask him what he thinks. So I pitched him my situation that I've been talking about for the past several months, about how I don't know what I want to do. I'm in Indianapolis. It's a good sports market. I have connections here. I'm somewhat established here, but I have this unrelenting urge to go somewhere else, to see new places, to at least see some new cornfields. And he's like, that's interesting. And he went on to give me a real honest answer. And there's something about seeing people in this context, like, I'm never going to see him again. And there's something about that is incredibly freeing. You feel the freedom to tell them anything that is on your mind, because you're never going to see them again. There's realistically no consequences. So I laid him out my scenario, and he went on to give me a really honest answer saying, well, you said you got your degree. You got your degree, that you got that. So you got the base. You got some experience under your belt, but you want more experience, but you like the area, you got connections here, but you want to go to a new place, you want to see somewhere new. So I would say, man, I say you hang out for a year or two, maybe. Stack your chips, get your connections, connect with the people you know, keep growing your network here, get more connections in the area while gaining that experience, but also make connections elsewhere, reach out elsewhere, make connections in new areas, so when you do want to go there, it's an easier transition. But his main message was stack your chips, keep stacking your chips, take this time this year or two to stack your chips. I just like the way he said that. It was pretty funny. He stuck with me forever. But his name was Joe Hudson. So big shout out to my boy Joe. No way he's watching this, but shout out to you, my guy. He gave me some good thoughts, and there's something about hearing advice from a random person that is more trustworthy than your family or friends. And I actually just talked about this with my lunch date, my friend Jenna. Like, she explained it like, to me, it's and I realize it's kind of like having a therapist, but it's like they have no real opinion about you. They have no reason to steer you any direction. They have no skin in the game. There's no investment in your life. So it's just straight up honesty. And he told me just hang out in the area and stack your chips. And then eventually when you feel it's right, you can go on to a new place once you've made connections here and there. And it's easy that way. And that made a lot of sense. And that's something that I've thought about myself before, but it's always different hearing it from somebody. And I've heard it from other people, but hearing it from this random guy that I had picked up at 2:30 in the morning on a Monday and drove home just several blocks, it really hit in a way that nothing else ever has. So it was just really not a slap in the face, but sort of recognition that, yeah, I'm here. There's no rush. I'm here. I got experience. Things are going well for me. The ball is moving slowly but surely, but it's still moving regardless of what I do or don't do. So stack your chips and you'll be all right. That was kind of the message. And like I mentioned, I just had lunch with my friend Jenna, and that kind of plays into this whole overall message of it's okay. I've had this thought plenty of times in the past several months, but it's so easy to forget that it's okay to be in this position I am. It's okay to not understand what I want to do. It's okay to be confused, lost, angry, sad, mad, whatever. It's okay. You just got to keep, at the end of the day, keep your eye focused on the end goal. And I think the reason why I'm so upset and perturbed is because I'm so focused on the end goal. But the end goal is not set in stone. It doesn't even really exist. You kind of make it up as you go, and it comes something eventually. It's never the same from start to finish. So you just got to keep going with it. And that's exactly true. That's exactly true. And and I don't have anything else to say. That's kind of the message of it. My friend Jenna, who I just had lunch with, she was telling me about her situation, how she had some interviews for jobs and stuff, but she's terrified of it. And me too, to be honest. The idea of sitting down at a desk and going into work for the same hours every single day and doing almost the same thing and just being on that cyclical process makes me want to blow my brains out. And I mean that genuinely. That's maybe the most terrifying thing there is in the world. So I'm glad I found freelancing, because I don't think I can work a traditional job. At least at this point in my life, I don't think I can work a traditional job. Imagine there's probably some point in the future, maybe when I have a kid or something, where I want that more regimented schedule, but right now it seems like a nightmare. So I'm trying to steer clear of that, at least for the moment. So the combination of all these things kind of just put my nerves at ease is really what it did. It reminded me that I'm in a good spot. I'm okay. I even worked a high school basketball game. The biggest high school basketball game maybe in the country all year. Number 1 in the country, Montverde, versus number 2 in the country, AZ Compass Prep. Anyways, I worked that game yesterday, and one of the people I really look up to in my life, Mr. Bronstetter, was there, and it was actually his company that was putting on the tournament. So it was his product that we were working on and that I was working on. So there was stress on that, but he was there, and that I was able to do a good job in front of him. And I know he believes in me, and I know he knows I'm capable and all this stuff, but their nerves are always going to be there, and it felt good to do a good job in front of him and see him as well. Yeah, man, just the last 72 hours, it's kind of a good epitome of what my life is right now. A little chaotic, a lot all over the place, still figuring it out from day to day, feeling it out, going moment to moment often at times, learning when I can, meeting new people when I can, taking it in, trying to soak it up, and just keep moving. Yeah, that's kind of the message. It's kind of the message. And Jenna mentioned she's in a similar place where she's just working a waitress job, but she's making good enough money for her situation. So we just keep grinding. We keep moving. There's no metrics by which my life has to go. There's no set path at all. I'm making it up. I'm making up my path. I'm pigeonholing myself or broadcasting myself. I'm the one that's setting the standards. And as long as I'm making money and I'm able to cover my bills, I'm able to stay alive, eat, drink, sleep, water, all of these things. Yeah, eat, drink, sleep, water. Yes. I'll be all right. So we keep moving, everybody. We keep moving. But I picked up a homeless guy at 2:30 in the morning on a Monday. Technically on a Tuesday, but on a Monday. After working a Pacers game where I got my best friend on the Jumbotron. Kind of wild, huh? Weird day, weird life, but life is good. And we keep moving, baby. We keep moving. Okay. That is it for this week's episode of my video input on the internet. I don't know what to call it anymore. But I hope you enjoyed. I've been your host, Matthew Stein. You have been fantastic as always. And I'll see you in next week's episode of this thing. Okay, see ya. Bye.